Hey everyone, hope all is well. This is Sarthak from Team Career Edge, and I'm here to talk about what exactly we offer in the Career Edge Consulting Fellowship. So, firstly, there are two kinds of programs, the 2.5 months long program and the 6 months long fellowship. So, we recommend all undergraduate college students who are currently in their undergraduate college right now to apply for the 6 months long fellowship, and those who are working professionals or B school or masters or MBA students to apply for the 2.5 months long fellowship. The only difference between the two programs is there in terms of pace, the speed. The two programs are identical in terms of the curriculum. However, from experience, we recommend undergraduate college students to apply for the longer program, the slower program, which is the 6 months long fellowship. And for those who are looking for a consulting switch ASAP, which is working professionals and B school students to apply for the 2.5 months long fellowship. Now, in terms of what do we offer through the fellowship, let's get started on that. There are two main components of the fellowship. First is the learning component, second is placement support. Now, starting with the learning component, this is what the fellowship does for you. So, we start off with the live Zoom sessions, which happen on Saturdays and Sunday evenings. Saturday 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. IST, and Sunday 6 to 9 p.m. IST. On Saturdays, I take the sessions, which are called founder hours, which are essentially there to solve any one-to-one queries that you have with respect to CV making, guesstimates, consulting, or anything that you have in mind. And you get one-to-one feedback and one-to-one support and one-to-one mentorship from me on that on Saturdays. On Sundays, we have the live learning checkpoints with our mentors from McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, Accenture, Dalberg, and so on. Now, in terms of the flow of the program, we firstly get started with careers in consulting. So, our mentor from Accenture and BCG, they help you understand what a career in consulting looks like, what sort of projects these firms do, what will be your trajectory once you get in, and what sort of responsibilities does a consultant have. And these mentors debunk a lot of myths for you that a lot of us have around consulting and strategy roles, just to get us started on the right point and the right track. Now, once that is done, then we have mentors from McKinsey and Company who help us understand how to make a shortlist worthy CV. They share their own CV templates with you. They talk about the RAC framework, result action context framework with you. And post that session is done, I start picking your CVs randomly on the group that we create, and I start giving you one-to-one feedback on that, because that's very, very important, right? Your CV and your cover letter are the two most important documents for you to signal your candidature to any prospective employer. That's why I'm there with you for one-to-one feedback on that. Now, once that is done, we have mentors from BCG who help us understand what are guesstimates, do's and don'ts, different approaches. They solve guesstimates with you, for you, in the live Zoom session. And once that is done, then I start circulating one guesstimate question every day on the group that we have for a couple of weeks. What I do is I share the guesstimate question, you pick a pen and paper, you share your approach with me, and on the next day, I give you feedback on your approach and I share my approach with you. So it's like building a muscle of problem solving, right? It's not a one day exercise, it's not a weekend exercise, it has to be ongoing in nature. That's why I do that with you every day on the group that we have. And I give you feedback on your assumptions, your math, your approach, and then share my solution with you. Now, once that is done, and once the guesstimate sessions are done with our mentors from BCG and then ZS, then we get to case interviews. Now, that session is taken by me. What I do in that is I help you understand what are case interviews, what's the flow of a typical case interview conversation, and I deep dive on all frameworks such as profitability, market entry, growth, M&A, and pricing. And I help you understand how to fare in an actual case interview conversation. Because it does not matter if you are interviewing with an Unacademy or an HUL or a McKinsey today, you will be asked guesstimates in cases. Those are universally used now, right? So once that is done, once the case interview framework session is done, then we have mentors from Bain and Dalberg who in the next session, which is called live case demonstration, they help you understand how to actually apply what you've learned in terms of frameworks and the flow in an actual conversation. So one mentor becomes the interviewee, the other mentor becomes the interviewer, and they help you understand how to actually fare in an actual case conversation. And we have two checkpoints around that because it takes time to build this muscle. And once that is done, then we divide you into case teams for mock case practice. And not only that, I solve cases on a one-to-one basis with you. I randomly pick a consulting fellow on the group and I solve a case with them. And we allow others to participate as well to, really understand how to approach a case, how to dissect the problem statement and give recommendations. So one thing which I'll sincerely request you to do is to be active during the fellowship, right? Because the only way to learn is to practically apply what we are learning on Saturdays and Sundays, right? That's why my one-to-one support is always there with you in terms of CV making, cover letter writing, feedback on both, and then guesstimates practice and case practice, right? Beyond the sessions. Now, once that is done, we have a live case project which is a part of the fellowship. What we do is we divide you into teams of 4 to 6 consulting fellows. We give you context of the problem at hand, we give you the financials of the client, and you are supposed to practically apply whatever frameworks you have learned during the fellowship in this problem, and then you give your recommendations to us, and we get feedback from our mentors and the client for you, and we also give you a live project completion certificate, right? So it's there to help you get a practical glimpse of whatever you have learned theoretically in the live Zoom sessions. Now once all of that is done, right, which is uh, understanding careers in consulting, CV making, one-to-one feedback, cover letter writing, one-to-one feedback, guesstimates practice, one-to-one feedback from me, case interview frameworks, case practice with teams and with me. And once the founder hours are also done on Saturdays, which is one-to-one support from me. Once all of that is completed and the live project is completed, you can come back to us for help on placements. Now we have three levers for this. The first is access to referrals by our mentors. The second is our hiring partners. And the third is our alumni community. Now, I'll help you understand what these three channels for placement support entail. Now, firstly, once you're done with the fellowship and once you're completely prepared for the interviews, what you can do is you can get access to referrals by our mentors. We have currently 70 mentors on board who are working with the top 12 firms, which includes McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Accenture, Dalberg, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, EY, Carney. And when I say access to referrals, that simply means that you go to the careers page of either of these websites, you figure out a role which is relevant to your profile, your fit, and your candidature. You share your CV and cover letter and that role with us. We send it to our mentor. The mentor evaluates the fit, and they might want to have a one-to-one session with you to deeply understand where you are coming from, why are you applying for that role. And then once they evaluate everything through the one-to-one session, they pass it on to their team's recruiter. The team's recruiter evaluates the profile and gets back to you to schedule the interviews after the shortlist. That's one. And you can reach out to us for referral request even beyond the fellowship. The support stays with you in terms of referral request, recordings of the live sessions, access to me. So please don't worry about it. Now, secondly, the second lever for placement support is hiring partners. What I simply mean by that is we have onboarded 25, 30 corporates and early stage organizations, and we are increasing this number day by day to onboard talent from the CE community, right? So they keep on periodically sharing relevant job openings with us. We share them directly with you, and you are supposed to share your CV and cover letter, which I help you create directly with the employer, right? No intermediary in between. That's second. And the third is the CE alum community itself. So we have broadly trained 2000 folks till now, and this number will increase over time. And we broadly have an active alumni community of 1000 plus folks. So these folks keep on sharing relevant opportunities from their organizations on the alumni community group, and that acts as another lever of helping you in making a shift, right? So employee referrals through our mentors, hiring partners who we have onboarded, and the CE alumni community. Now, in terms of hardcore career outcomes, it's very difficult to track metrics or hiring numbers from, hiring partners and the alumni community, because you never know who all or which learner reached out to the hiring partner and got placed. It's a little opaque to track, but it's very easy to track referral based hiring, right? So we track that very actively. Now, in terms of hardcore numbers, there are two metrics that we track: ratio of consulting fellows who are taking placement support, getting referred actually by the mentors, and interviewing with firms; ratio of fellows who get placed in a consulting or a strategy role after a referral and interviews within 2 months of program completion. That's 40 to 50%. The second is ratio of consulting fellows seeking referral support, getting referred, and interviewing with firms within 6 months of program completion. That ratio is 70 to 80%. Now, why is that higher? Very simple. Let's say we refer you in Accenture today, the mentor is satisfied and they refer you across. And let's say you get a call, you interview with the firm, but let's say you get rejected. Now, what you can do is you can come back to us beyond the fellowship and you can seek a referral or request for a referral in, let's say, McKinsey or Deloitte or EY or Dalberg. And then you can interview with the firm and then maybe you get through in the second trial, right? So, that access in terms of referral request, hiring partners, as well as the community stays with you beyond the fellowship. And this is what we cover. So feel free to go through the testimonials on the page, the video testimonials, other details, and feel free to apply, and our team will reach out to you. Thank you.